Good morning, Steve, and welcome to the Low Carb Paleo Show.
Good morning, Mark and Alain. How are you guys doing?
I am fine. I don't know about Mark.
I'm wonderful, thank you. Can't complain at all. Well, you know the drill. No one listens if you do.
Yeah. I'm still trying to wake up, so it might get up on the slow start. So, Steve, I met you at the 2019 Paleo Effects event, and I loved your bars. So here you are. Thank you for joining us. And let's talk about your background. What was your professional background before you started Stoka Bars?
Yeah, so I think something that people kind of find interesting about us is we launched just over a year ago in March, and prior to that have zero food background and zero entrepreneur background. I was an electrician for a lot of years, and then last 13 years worked for the railroad, BNSF. So it really has nothing to do with launching food business whatsoever. But here we are, and we've got the first year out of the way, and it's been pretty incredible.
Good. It's good to hear. How did you get the idea to start this business?
So my wife Mocha and I, we have 5 kids, and when our 4th child was born, I took a month off of work, and I'd been on keto / paleo diet for a year and a half, 2 years, and we had a new Whole Foods open up pretty close to us, and I was really excited that just assuming that they would have some sort of nutrition bar. I've always been a big bar guy. So I went there, and not a single bar that they had on the shelf was something that I could really eat as part of my lifestyle. So I went back home and bought some almonds, a bunch of other ingredients that my family and I enjoy, and just started making nutrition bars for myself. And at the time, I wasn't thinking anything of it, but some of my older kids started eating them. They were disappearing. And then after a few weeks, all their friends were coming over, neighbors were coming over. So I decided to take some to the railroad and kind of get people's feedback on that. And everybody there was like, hey, these are pretty good. You should sell them. So a year ago, this March, a buddy of mine, Jake, who now heads up our operations, our plan was to make nutrition bars 2 nights a week after we got off our jobs at the railroad, and then go to the Saturday market and try to sell some bars, just as a fun sort of thing. We were renting just a commissary kitchen at night to be able to do that. And before we actually started at the Saturday market, we sent a box to Amazon, and right away the bar started selling, and we had just awesome reviews. And 2 weeks after that, I wound up putting in my 2-week notice for the railroad. So everything happened extremely fast, and we've been hanging on ever since.
Well, it's very impressive. I noticed you have quite an impressive kitchen in the background. How was it to start in your kitchen? How did you manage that?
Yeah, that part has been interesting for sure. When kind of the normal route for most bar companies is to find a co-packer. So, there's a few big companies that make most of the bars out there. Right. Our bars are unique as far as they're nut-based and they're crunchy. So, right. They're not date or fruit or, protein powder based. They're, just very simple, clean ingredient based. And we had a very hard time trying to find somebody that could, produce something that was similar to what we were producing by hand. Mm-hmm. So my wife and I, we sold our house, and we took our savings, and we built our own 9,000 square foot factory down here in Fort Worth, Texas. And as you can see behind me, we have a bunch of our kitchen equipment and stuff in there. And it's been a fun ride.
Oh, I'm sure it's been scary at times too.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Now, I understand your bar fits all sorts of lifestyle. Can you tell us which one? I know we know about the keto and paleo. What else?
Yeah. So what pretty much got us started as far as, thinking we had a viable business was that kids were eating them. Our kids, which eat fairly healthy, but they're still kids, and then neighbor kids who, don't necessarily eat healthy at all, but everybody seemed to enjoy these bars, even though we don't add any sugar. They're not loaded with carbs or net carbs. So instantly, I've already been on the keto diet, so it fit the keto diet. We have currently 10 flavors, so 2 of them are peanut based. They don't necessarily fit the paleo diet, but our other 8 flavors are all pretty strict as far as paleo goes. Just whole natural ingredients, dairy-free, gluten-free, vegan. A very big market for us is the diabetic community.
Right.
The diabetic shelf has been there for a long time, and it's a big market, but most of the stuff that's kind of focused towards the diabetic community is artificial or flat out just doesn't taste very good. So our bars and our other products, fit a pretty wide range of lifestyles. And then also the outdoor community. If you're an outdoors person, hiking, biking, just traveling in general, our bars, because they don't have, a bunch of protein powder or a bunch of fruit and stuff, they're not going to melt in the heat. You can take them, you can leave them in your car. They're not going to get funky. They're not going to, go bad. So that's definitely a big perk.
All right. Now let's talk a little bit about your business. So you started barely a little more than a year ago, and you've seen pretty impressive growth. Can you explain that? And I guess it's been a constant rush to keep up with demand, I guess.
Yeah. So basically, when we started, just over a year ago, it was with the plan that it was going to be a side hobby, just a fun thing. To back up a little bit, prior to us actually starting the business, something that allowed us to start this business is that several years ago, maybe 5 years ago, my wife and I took a personal finance class. Prior to that, we're like most Americans, living paycheck to paycheck. We had car payments, house payment, credit card payments. And we took a personal finance class through the Dave Ramsey program. And leading up to starting this business, we were able to pay off 100% of our debt, pretty much be, self-sufficient, have a pretty good, savings plan. I had read lots of books prior to that. It's pretty standard advice, people, to say that you need 6 months living expenses, savings, you need investments, you need all this stuff, but there really wasn't a guidebook to tell people how to do it. So once we took that course and we actually learned about money and how to manage money and to make money do what we want it to do instead of at the end of the month kind of wondering where it went, it just put us in a position to when this opportunity came up. We didn't have any debt. We had pretty good savings. And so anybody out or anybody listening to this, whether they're looking to start a business or, just they're not sure how to handle money, I would definitely recommend taking a personal finance class.
Yes. What was the name of that program again?
Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey. Okay.
It just there's several programs out there that just happen to be the one that we took, and we picked that one because it had a very clear step by step. If you have a mountain of debt and you're having trouble making payments, like it'll tell you exactly the first thing you need to do and walk you all the way to where everything's paid off. You have college funds for your kids going. You have several months of living expenses saved up. So fast forward from taking that class, we're in a position to where we could take this risk and it not being a huge risk.
Right.
we didn't have all this outside debt. So when we launched just over a year ago, fast forward to, we technically call it the first year, but it was 13 months. 13 months from when we started, we wound up grossing over $1 million, which is something that I don't think any of us expected or planned for or anything. It's been just amazing.
Very well, very well. Very good. So you were ready for any kind of business popping up. Let's see, let's talk about your bars. What flavors are you currently offering?
So the time in this podcast is pretty good. We have 3 flavors that are on the market right now. We launched the company with a vanilla almond and a cocoa almond. And several months ago, we introduced a peanut chocolate chip. And we hadn't planned on coming out with the peanut bar, but people write to us every day asking for peanut flavors. And peanut is definitely a big hit. We have 7 more flavors that are be launching within this next month.
Wow. Which one are they?
So we'll have a lemonade bar, pumpkin spice. The pumpkin spice is going to be probably seasonal, probably in the fall. Birthday cake. The birthday cake will also have our sugar-free rainbow sprinkles on it. So I think that'll be a fun one. Cherry almond. It's got bits of dried cherries in there. Sea salt caramel. Chocolate chip almond. And the chocolate chip almond doesn't sound that different, but it's currently probably my favorite. It's got the exact same taste, and I'm not sure what the combination is, of a Chips Ahoy cookie. So that's what I've been eating every morning with my coffee is the chocolate chip almond bar. And then we have a PB&J, which is a strawberry and peanut bar. And definitely look out for those within the next month. We have all new packaging designs and stuff, kind of to streamline the way we were going with our Z Mellow, which is a sugar-free, all-natural marshmallow cream. So I've been taking a lot of our products recently, almost nightly. I've been taking a keto ice cream or paleo ice cream, and I put the Z Mellow on it. I put our rainbow sprinkles on it. And then a couple months ago, we started selling cereal also. We have all natural, low carb cereal. So I combine all that in a bowl and just have a massive, sundae with sprinkles and everything that's sugar free, that I feel good, eating afterwards. So it's nice having all those products for sure.
No, it sounds like you're moving in the right direction. Now there was since I received your samples, a couple of issues popped up, and I wanted to talk about it. First of all, before I got your samples, I went to your website, could not find any nutritional information on your products. Why is that?
Everything should be on the website. I'll have to take a look. If it's not, we'll definitely upload it. But
there was no copy of the nutritional panel or anything like this. I mean, there's a listing of ingredients, but no nutritional information.
Okay. I was under the impression that they were, but I will get those added before this podcast comes out.
All right. So I also like to talk about the issue of GMOs. Now, you may not know, but I researched 2 years and wrote a book against GMOs. That's one of my pet peeves. And it's currently used by the Institute of Responsible Technology as a reference. So it's deep research, and I spent 2 years. My job at the time was to eliminate GMOs out of the company I worked for, line of product, which was quite a job. And I made a lot of enemies in the process because people didn't like me stirring up basically what they thought was trouble. So getting to the point, I noticed an ingredient which is quite prevalent is erythritol. Now, erythritol, like xylitol or sorbitol, is a plant-based sugar alcohol that is genetically engineered with yeast from corn glucose or corn syrup. One of the largest American genetically engineered crops. So that's, to me, that really stir up some issues there. And considering there's no non-GMO certification or USDA certified organic certification either on your website or on your products, I have to wonder, is your erythritol is genetically engineered? Because you do advertise that your product had non-GMO, but there's no certification going with that. So can you explain that?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. That's a great question. And we've actually got that quite a few times at some of the expos. So we do use a non-GMO erythritol that's manufactured in France, which is different than most of the stuff that people have that comes from China. As far as the certifications go, we've only been in our new facility a couple months. We just got a whole bunch of new equipment and everything. So being that we're such a new company, we have just started all those processes. So our facility is going to be certified gluten-free. We're going to get a non-GMO certification. And so we only use non-GMO ingredients. We started the company pretty much because we couldn't find stuff that only has ingredients that we actually, feed ourselves, feed our kids, all that. So the only reason we're not certified is because we're so new and all that stuff, takes time. So
how long do you expect before you get those certifications? Because that was a big question mark for me once I discovered that.
Absolutely. We're hoping in the 6-month range from now, we will have those certifications.
Okay. Another issue I had was a more digestive issue. Erythritol, for people that are sensitive, can have a uncomfortable, so to speak, side effect, which is loose stools and diarrhea. And it just happened, I'm very sensitive to it. So I ate one bar one night. Next morning, I had trouble. To confirm that, I ate another bar the following night, and same result. Now you should know that I follow the paleo diet very strictly. I don't vary my diet very much. This week I didn't go out to restaurants, so I cannot blame it on any outside influence. So considering that some people, there's a lot of people with digestive issues out there. Some people have leaky gut syndrome, Crohn's disease, IBS, inflammation of all sorts. I was concerned and wondering why there was not some kind of a caution or warning label on your products that, for people that are sensitive to such product. I don't know if I'm exceptional, but it hit me literally almost right away. And that is not something that nobody's comfortable with that, but I mean, it's not something that happens to me ever. So I knew directly what the consequence, where it was coming from. So, or at least could you put a warning on your website or something for people that are sensitive or have digestive issues or inflamed gut disease, whatever, that your product could generate some uncomfortable side effect, and not being polite here.
Yeah, that's something that has been brought up before. I'd say out of the probably 500,000 bars, that we've sold this last year, and and Amazon alone, we have over 700 reviews right now on our bars, and I'd say less than a handful, probably 5 or less, of all those reviews. And people are brutally honest on Amazon for sure, that have had any sort of discomfort. So it is extremely rare. The thing that we were really careful about was the inulin. That is something that I've seen kind of abused in some other bars and some other products that affects everybody here, our employees, my family. Too much inulin seems to be a problem. I really haven't met anybody personally, besides you now, that has said that they've had any sort of issue with our bars. There has been a couple on Amazon reviews, but definitely less than 1%.
Yeah, I guess it's a combination of things. The erythritol, the inulin, and the guar gum. The guar gum is also known to be an anti-constipation product that is taken by some people to, get rid of constipation. So if you add all 3 of them, I'm not really surprised that, the laxative effects are compounding. So I don't know. I mean, I was extremely uncomfortable for the past 2 days. Even this morning, I still had some trouble. So it kind of makes the whole experience kind of, for me at least, strange, because I was excited. I remember tasting your product. I liked it. And then all of a sudden this happened. So, it's difficult for me to say that, but I would highly suggest you put some kind of warning on your website that for sensitive people or people with gut issues that they may experience digestive discomfort because of combination of erythritol, inulin, and guar gum.
All right. I definitely appreciate that.
Right. And I'm sorry to bring it up, but
that's okay.
That's one thing. One thing our show is about is try to be honest. And I mean, as much as, we want to support you, we also have to bring up issues in order for you to correct them.
Definitely. When we formulated these bars, we the erythritol, just enough to make it sweet, and then we supplement it with stevia extract.
Right.
The guar gum and inulin, we use just a tiny bit, just enough to get the bar to bind together. Is
right.
Pretty much.
Okay. I don't want to pile it on, so I'm going to stop here. Mark, your turn.
Because I haven't had the pleasure of tasting these yet. As Alain gets all of the goodies sent to him, but, as I travel and I'm across the pond, I never get to try them.
Okay.
Maybe I should, since I have trouble with them, maybe I should ship them to you, Mark.
That would be a good idea. Why not, indeed?
Yeah, so Stoka Bars are available in the UK.
They are, right, okay.
Keto supplements.
That was my next question. Can we get them over?
Supplements.co.uk, I believe. Yes.
Super job. So you said they're good for diabetics, and they're good for outdoor people as well, and they retain their crunch and so forth. Is that a market you're going to be targeting more?
We pretty much launched with the support of the keto community, and then when we met Alain this year at the Paleo community. We've also been doing some fitness, type expos, and we will be doing more outdoor stuff, Ironman, kind of events like that, CrossFit, all that stuff. Because our bars do kind of fit everybody. Old people with diabetes can eat our bars just fine. Small kids, I've got 5 kids, and they all eat our bars. So it's pretty broad range. And I kind of see the trend, several years ago, the IT bar formulation was, date-based, fruit-based, all very high sugar, high carb, even though, it's technically all natural, probably not the healthiest thing. I definitely see a shift more towards nut-based bars as far as their durability, the high protein content, the healthy fat, content. So we're just excited to be a part of this industry at this time.
Yeah.
And the thing I love about the bar business is we're friends with lots of our competitors. And I've always been a bar person. I've always, even back when it was only power bars and you had to choke them down, I eat lots of different bars. I eat lots of our competitor bars. I eat our bars. There's just a big market. I don't think any one person just eats one kind of bar every day for their life.
No.
So having variety is great. And most of the other, companies with competitive bars, we're friends with, we support them, we buy their products. So there's lots of really good things out there these days where I think 5 years ago, there was hardly anything.
And as you say, it's a crunchy bar, and that's something I really miss. Sometimes I'm looking in the kitchen cupboard thinking, I want something with a crunch. And celery just doesn't cut it.
There's always Captain Crunch.
Yeah.
I mean, you've done exceptionally well in 13 months to reach a turnover of $1 million. So, hats off to you for that. And obviously that means that you are very popular with the market, which again can't be put down in any way. So, you've done a terrific job so far.
Yeah, thank you.
You say you were over 700 comments back on places like Amazon.
Yes.
How do you find, how do you react to those comments? Do you use them sort of to develop further product ideas?
So that's something that I normally pull up first thing in the morning just to kind of look for trends. We did update our bars here a little bit ago to make them easier to bite. They were extremely hard to bite before. And we're just seeing an overwhelming trend with people having, to break them in their hand, not being able to bite them with their front teeth, kind of having to go to the side. So we definitely look at trends, people on Amazon are brutally honest, it's the thing that I found kind of humorous is usually when you get like a 1-star review, if you click on that person's profile, they only give 1-star reviews, like nothing's good enough type of thing. So most of that stuff you kind of have to take with a grain of salt, but we do read them, we do monitor them, and, we do look for trends. And it is nice to have. And, with us being so new and everything, the one thing we don't do is ask people for reviews, So if somebody wants to, whether they have a good experience, bad experience, but we are 4.5 stars on Amazon with those 700 plus reviews. And a new little company, that
very good, yeah.
That is cool. And then on top of that, even we were just kind of talking about it yesterday in the shop here. This time a year ago, on Instagram, we had 300 something followers. And we looked at it yesterday, we had 18,500. So things have come along, very fast. And even ingredients, this time last year, we were buying almonds by the 15-pound box, 1 box at a time, making bars. And now we're buying them by an entire truck container, full. So it's been so lightning fast. We are in talks with several national chains, right now. So 6 months to a year from now, we have those certifications and we're in a lot more chains than that. It's gonna be really exciting. And there's been, so much hard work that's gone into this. But it's been amazing.
Yeah, and that's the thing a lot of people don't appreciate is the hard work that goes into building a business like that.
Yeah, so when I had my day job and then I started doing this, there was only so much work that I could do here at Stoka because I had to stop at a certain point and go to my day job.
Yeah.
where like the first couple weeks of when I quit my day job and this was all we had, I was not prepared for the amount of work. Because when it's yours, if you don't do the work, it just doesn't get done, type of thing. So I would force myself to get a few hours of sleep. So I would start work at 6, I'd get up at 4, go to the gym, get breakfast, I'd start work at 6, and I would make myself stop at midnight and get a couple hours of sleep. There were several days where I just went, 48 hours, nonstop, just trying to get this off the ground. But it's so rewarding at the same time, when you do get all these things accomplished. For somebody that's never started a food business or is interested in it, there really is 1,000 things that have to be lined up and in place for safety reasons, for health reasons, for business reasons. And it was overwhelming for a long time, especially being, the first time that I've done any of this stuff. So every day I just made a point, I'm going to get at least one thing done today, whether it's, I source non-GMO erythritol, today, and then tomorrow, I try to do barcodes, or, I try to find a designer for or logo, or I try to find a kitchen, that we can rent at night, where we can actually make these bars. So probably when we started to when we actually sold our first bar was probably almost 6 months, getting all those little details together before you can actually sell, a final product.
Yeah. A lot to do, a lot of hard work, but say you've got through, and you've been, a good example to other people who want to follow in your footsteps. Changing tack totally here. I'm curious, where did the idea of the, is it the marshmallow product come from?
So
it seems so sort of, off the wall, as it were.
Yeah. So being a small business, we've got, I'd say just under 20 employees here. So it was several months ago. It was a Friday afternoon. Everybody's, ready to start the weekend. And our vice president of sales and marketing, Nadine, all of a sudden, it's dead quiet. Everybody's working. She goes, to back up, she's been on keto for a couple of years also. So out of the blue, she just announces to everybody, marshmallows. I miss marshmallows. Steve, you need to make marshmallow. And it hadn't dawned on me. I mean, I wasn't a big marshmallow person, before that or anything. So we went to the kitchen and, started playing around with it. And it's like, hey, this stuff's pretty good. And we were dipping our bars into it. I'm like, hey, that's amazing. And we're, lots of our other peers, that make cookies and, other paleo keto, products. So we're slapping it on everything we can think of. Man, this is good. So it just kind of happened. It was just out of the blue and it happened, but it's definitely good. We're putting some finishing touches on it before it's really out there and available. It's having an all natural product that's fluffy like that, where we don't use any preservatives or anything like that, has been a challenge. It's been a lot harder than I thought it was going to be, but as soon as we get it perfected, it's going to do well.
Excellent. Will you show us the container again?
Yeah. So we call it Z Mellow because it's 0 sugar, 0 net carbs, and 0 artificial ingredients.
Okay.
So, but I put on ice cream. I mix it with yogurt. Put it in my cereal. I make ice cream, or not ice cream, but cookie sandwiches with it. Put it on Stoka Bars. There's lots of different applications for it.
I'm detecting here that maybe you've got a sweet tooth.
Once you've been on, paleo or keto for a long time, you actually don't crave that stuff anymore.
No.
I don't, but, sometimes right before bed, I do like having a spoonful of this or something sweet. But on a day-to-day basis, before I was keto, I would sugar my coffee. I would, eat lots of fruit and all that stuff. Where now, I just put heavy cream in my coffee, some MTC oil. Really don't do the sweets that much, but when you feel like sweets, it's nice to have something.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess as you've got them on tap, you can have them whenever you want.
Yeah. Well, too, with having 5 kids at the house too,
Yeah.
you have to have some sweet stuff. And all of our products are all kid tested, you know, before we even take them seriously, you know. You know, as far as them being a viable product, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
consumers might want.
Excellent. Now, we've been chatting with you, and but I do understand, if I'm right, is that the company's named after yourself and your wife, yeah?
Yeah. When we went to trademark what our business name was going to be, we actually had a whole bunch of other ideas that we were excited about the keto diet because we'd been on keto for a couple of years, and we were trying to incorporate keto into the name of our company. And our business lawyer just kept coming back to us that so many keto products right now that are being trademarked with keto. He said, you know, we might have some problems. So we went back to the drawing board, and it just kind of hit us. My name's Steve. My wife's name's Mocha Hana, but she goes by Mocha for short. So we just put Steve and Mocha together and came up with Stoka. Short, you know, easy to say, and it wasn't an actual word. So we created our own word, easy to trademark, and it's unique. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's an old-fashioned word. Stoker is someone who puts the coal in the boiler. So, you know, maybe there's a marketing angle that you could at some point. Yeah, stoke your boiler with Stoka Bars.
Okay. No, when we did our research prior to filing the trademark, the only thing that came up was I forget what country. I want to say it was like Ukraine. There's a rapper, a white rapper in the Ukraine that goes by Stoka.
All right.
And that was funny.
So I mean, she's obviously part of the company name. Does Mocha have a much input into the business?
Yeah. So Mocha still holds a full-time job outside of Stoka, but you know, she's been there since day one. You know, getting this off the ground, and she wasn't too happy when I suggested, "Hey, let's sell our house." So we can build a factory, you know, but it's worked out.
Excellent. So do you see you two working sort of together in the future more closely?
Yeah, with 5 kids, it's a juggling act, but yeah, I think at some point the way we've been growing has been crazy. You know, this time last year, you know, Jake and I doing it part time versus, you know, we had just under 20 full-time employees, 2 shifts, type of thing. So the way we're growing, yeah, she'll probably have to quit her day job at some point.
Excellent. So, I mean, obviously you're looking ahead at that. Where do you see yourselves, let's say, in sort of 3, 4, 5 years' time?
3, 4, 5 years' time, hopefully a year's time from now, we're in some national chains. We are in, you know, talks and negotiations and stuff right now. Before a couple months ago, every single Stoka bar was made by hand. The amount was measured by hand. It was hand stamped, you know, to shape and everything. Now that we have this equipment, our capacity's gone from, you know, 2,000 bars a day to, you know, 50,000 bars a day type of thing. So we really haven't contacted anybody or ever gone after new business, but once we get everything dialed in here, our certifications, you know, sky's the limit, I think, especially with a nut-based bar that, you know, isn't full of carbs, isn't full of sugar, isn't full of junk. I just think the U.S. market and kind of globally, you know, we've seen this trend for a few years of just people being more health conscious, you know, in general. And it's exciting times. You know, if we would have tried to do this 5 years ago, 8 years ago, you know, it would have been a struggle for sure. Excellent.
And albeit the fact that Alain has raised a few of his concerns because his sensitivities, you've done very well to do what you do and become as popular as you've come. You did mention earlier you went to the Dave Ramsey finance class. Do you think you would have been able to start and achieve the success that you have achieved if you hadn't gone to that finance class?
I don't think that the light bulb would have ever gone off to, hey, let's start a business. If we were in the position we were 6-7 years ago, where we had, credit cards, car payments, finance furniture and TVs and, all this stuff and all this debt, it never would have crossed my mind to actually start a business. But when that weight was kind of lifted and, hey, we don't have any debt, we don't have any obligations, we have some extra money, we can give this a try and see what happens. And if it doesn't work, we just, go back to life as usual. So if we weren't in that position, we would never be entrepreneurs. No way. So that definitely set us up for when this opportunity came by, for us to be able to jump on it.
Yeah, but so the reason I ask is that obviously you've achieved a measure of success that many people would only dream about. But there are a lot of people who have those aspirations, but they lack the foundation in order to move that forward. So it's just worth bringing that out, the fact that you put your ducks in a row, as we say over this side of the pond, just to be able to move forward, being debt-free, which is always important. And now you're reaping the rewards of, putting your house in order, as it were. So well done to you both.
Thank you. And so there's something that always kind of stood out in my mind, that if you can't handle a little bit of amount of money, you're definitely not going to be able to handle a lot of money. And, you see that with professional athletes and lots of other people. They're not used to managing money or having money to actually to then having a whole bunch, lottery winners. And more often than not, all that money winds up getting away from them. So I remember it was part of the class, them saying that, God's not going to trust you with a lot of money if you can't even handle, your household finances. So us just learning how to handle a little bit of money, hopefully will help us one day, if and when we do start making, some more money. And just learning those things, with our personal finances definitely carried over to running a business, being able to make a budget, stick to a budget, plan and forecast, and all that. I couldn't imagine doing $1 million our first year without kind of having that foundation and kind of knowing, this much money goes to this, instead of at the end of the month, hey, we had X amount of money and now it's gone, and what do we do? So anybody, whether starting a business or just for your personal reasons, that's what I tell everybody when I meet them. Take a personal finance class, learn about different insurances, learn about budgeting, how to handle money, how to invest, how to save for college, have a rainy day fund. It's crucial, and it's not something in the U.S. School system or anything like that's really taught. No. And if your parents never did it and they don't teach you, there's really no kind of mass market way that people are learning this.
No, you're quite right, and that's not just in the U.S. either. I mean, you'll find that the world over. It's very rare that people get any form of financial education. I mean, let's face it, everybody at some point has to fill out a tax form. Was any of us taught how to do that at school?
No, I think it's done on purpose. They want to keep us poor so we can, we keep our mouth shut. But one thing that we have heard mentioned in previous, especially in the manufacturing business, is there's a big step coming up for you when the national chains, they agree to buy from you. The expansion required and the extra capital required to move from, even at your level, 50,000 bars a day to, providing Whole Foods or some other chain, it's not only a burden on equipment, also on financial, because you need to borrow more money to buy more equipment and then ship them. And typically those guys pay you 30 days or 90 days, 30 days if you're lucky, and 90 days most of them. I know because I used to be in that business. So have you thought of that? Are you planning for that? How do you plan to, because that will probably require additional capital, or maybe go to a bank and borrow some more money, or what's your take on that?
Yeah, definitely. So our cash flow has been pretty strong, and then we are all set up with several banks. When we get this first big order, if we need to supplement, with some outside income, we definitely can. So we have everything ready. It's taken this long to really get our facility up and going, our equipment up and going, but it did give us the time also to have all these other pieces in place. So we're ready to pull the trigger. Right now, we're waiting on our new bar packaging so we can launch all these other flavors. And we're excited.
Good.
Now, where can people find out more about the bars, where they can buy them, and all that sort of stuff?
Absolutely. StokaBar.com is our direct website, and then social media, Instagram. We do Facebook and some of the other ones. But I know Instagram for business is definitely the main platform. So announcements, updates, new products, all that. Instagram's probably your best way, and it's at Stoka Bars with an S at the end. Just for all that stuff. New products, coming up, new flavors, within the upcoming weeks.
And where can they be bought off the shelf?
Off the shelf. I think there's eight or 9 countries right now. We haven't uploaded all those into our website yet. Some select GNCs, lots of regional and smaller chain natural grocery stores, gyms, chiropractic offices, some cancer clinics. It seems like we're adding stuff weekly. That doesn't always translate directly to the website, search, but probably once a month or so, we go through that and try to update that. There has been some interesting things lately, like someone from South Korea reached out to us. So we started selling in South Korea, and the first month we sold like 15,000 bars, and it's only gone up. So there's definitely these markets out here where I didn't think would be big on keto and natural products and that, but they actually are, which has been interesting and definitely needed at the same time. It does take some time in other countries, to get a that country specific tax ID number and import broker and all that stuff. But it's every single aspect of this whole business we've been having to learn from scratch, and it's been fun.
Yeah, fair play to you. You've done it, and I think that's an encouragement to a lot of people. Excellent. Well, I've got no more questions that have come to mind. Alan, time to do the close.
Okay. Did you want to add anything, Steve? Anything else you'd like to mention? So if I understand properly, right now you're sold through Amazon and your website, and assorted smaller, but not yet in like large chains like Whole Foods or Kroger or anything like this yet.
Correct. Just because up until a week ago, we really didn't have the production capability. So now that we have the production capability, we are ready to pull the trigger. We're in several GNCs. That's probably the biggest known chain, but we're not in all of them, by any means. They have 9,000 plus stores. Okay,
cool. All right. Let's go for the closing. Thank you again, Steve, for being on the Low Carb Paleo Show. And as we say in Texas, à votre santé, yo.
All right, guys, thank you. It's been fun. The entire support that we've got from our customers has been amazing. So we definitely want to thank everybody, and we hope to draw some traffic to the Low Carb Paleo show.
Thanks again,
Thank
Steve.
you.